Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel and to this series on family systems that I've put together for you all. Today we're talking all about emotional contagion within the context of family systems and how to set boundaries to protect from the consequences, the inevitable consequences of too much emotional contagion. So let's get started. So first of all, emotional contagion is simply the process by which we absorb the emotions of other people, normally the ones that we're close to, like our family members, and they absorb ours as well. So for example, one person may come home from work and be really stressed and anxious and angry about something, and that activates everyone else in the family. So now all of a sudden, everyone in the family is also anxious and walking on eggshells and sort of catering to the mood of this one person, right? So the family system absorbs the anxiety of one person's emotions, one person's emotional state, and this is what it means to have emotional contagion, right? The person's emotions becomes contagious. Now, we evolved for emotional contagion. Our nervous systems are wired to the nervous systems of other people, especially those that we're close to, like our family members. This is a totally normal human phenomenon, and it's been especially adaptive in our evolutionary history, right? We need emotional contagion when we're babies, for example, because our mothers need to be able to experience our emotions in order to care for us, to attune to our needs and to respond to our needs, right? We're born highly dependent on our mothers. Emotional contagion also helps us bond with other human beings, right? Being wired to the nervous systems of other people helps us care for others, band together with others that are a part of our tribe or our family, and cooperate to help each other in the needs and the demands and the challenges of survival. So it's been very adaptive in our evolutionary history. However, too much emotional contagion without a healthy amount of emotional separation and emotional autonomy and emotional boundaries, it can become problematic, right? It can lead to emotional burnout if we're taking too much stress on from people, so it can affect our mental health. It can lead to unstable relationships over time. It can lead to groupthink and group reactivity and bad behaviors, bad group behaviors, right? Like mob mentality. So it can lead to all sorts of consequences. Now, emotional contagion is the essence, right? The building block of empathy. It's what allows us to feel what others are feeling, understand what they're feeling, have compassion for them. But too much of it, again, becomes self-destructive. So we want to be able to have empathy, and we want to be able to experience the emotions of others to a healthy degree and still have emotional boundaries and emotional separation. So how do we do this? Well, first of all, emotional awareness. So we need to pay attention and notice when this is happening, right? Observe your family system and watch what happens when one person gets anxious. Watch who else starts to get reactive, right? Watch and notice if you're getting reactive. If mom is anxious, do you become anxious too? And this is not just in families. This can happen in any group of people that we feel connected to in some ways. In some way, it can be like our friend group. It can be, like a church organization we're a part of. It can be, an organization at work, like a working team that we are a part of. One person reacts, one person gets, anxious or activated, and then everyone kind of starts to get that way too. So pay attention. You have to have emotional awareness first. Awareness is the first step. So notice what's coming up for you as the people around you get activated. Secondly, the second step is discernment. So you have to then question yourself. Does it make sense for me to get activated right now as a response to this person getting activated, or the team, or my family, or the group that I'm a part of getting activated? And sometimes that answer will be yes, because it will be an it will be an emergency situation, and that reactivity makes sense, right? If you have to run for your life or get out of a burning building, then can't be calm and thoughtful in that state. You need that reactive energy to respond quickly, accordingly. However, most of the time in modern life, it's not going to be an emergency. You probably don't need that reactivity. Probably what you need instead is to remain in a calm state so that you can, your prefrontal cortex is still working and you can actually respond thoughtfully instead of reactively or reflexively. So once you've done step 2, which is discernment, like, do I want to get activated or not? If your answer is no, then you move on to step 3, which is healthy emotional boundaries. So you need to, tell yourself and others, I'm not going to get caught up in the emotions of this right now. It's not effective, right? It's not the best thing for this particular scenario. And then you need to practice that healthy emotional boundary. You can still remain connected to people, you can still remain present, but you don't need to get anxious or take on what they're feeling, right? If mom is anxious or if mom is angry, that doesn't mean I need to get anxious or angry. So healthy boundaries. And that's coupled with step number 4, which is self-regulation. If you do notice that you're getting a little anxious when, the family is anxious, then just constantly checking in with yourself and regulating yourself, taking deep breaths, maybe taking a moment and stepping outside and just coming back to calm. For as long as you can remain calm within the emotional chaos and turmoil of the people around you, you will retain your personal power and your personal responsibility. So being the calm in the storm, this is an incredible skill to have. And it takes regulating ourselves. Well, first it takes awareness, right? You have to see that, everyone around you is becoming a little agitated, and then you have to practice regulating self so that you remain calm, centered, and grounded within that chaos. And that will provide you more resources to respond instead of react, right? You will be able to be more reflective, you'll be able to be more thoughtful, you'll be able to draw on wisdom and make a more choiceful, conscious behavior, right? Your next move will be more conscious than if you had taken on that anxiety and reacted reflexively based on your automatic programming, which we all have. So it's all about that pause, that reflection, the observing of the system, and then calming ourselves down and setting boundaries so that we don't get caught up, right? And then we can be more responsive. So there you have it, you all. There is a matching article for this one that I will leave linked below if you're curious, and just, saving it as a resource for future reference. And as always, if you have questions, remember that I do a free monthly private Q&A for all of my readers and listeners. You can submit your questions. You can vote on questions that other readers have submitted. So be sure to subscribe to the monthly Q&A. I'm going to leave the link below. And then you will receive a link as a response after you've subscribed to submit your questions, to vote on your favorite questions. And then each month I will send out a private Q&A. So this is a way we can stay more in touch and you can learn more with me here. All right. Thank you all so much for being here, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.